Fellow Toastmasters, I have come today to talk about something I do every fall at this time, along with all the shopping and, of course, all the eating. I get a flu shot every year. So I'm going to tell you why you should consider adding this to your Christmas or holiday to-do list. Every year the news media does stories about getting flu shots, whether it's the vaccine supply is low or the kind of usual angle they take. So there is a high level of awareness. However, the fact that there's a high level of awareness does also mean that there's a bit of misinformation out there. So I'm going to start off with telling you some facts that you should know about the flu shot and a little bit about influenza itself. I'll go over a couple myths about flu shots, and I'll also give you a few extra reasons why you and your family should get the flu shot. I'll also provide at the end some pointers on where you can get more information. First of all, let's start off with some basic facts. The flu shot is a vaccination designed to protect the public against the influenza virus. This is a mug shot. The culprit, this I believe is influenza A, which really I don't think there's much difference pictorially between any of the different strains of influenza. Influenza is a highly infectious disease that's been around for thousands of years. Hippocrates recorded a detailed description of the system of all the symptoms over 2,400 years ago. But the first well-documented influenza pandemic, and that's a worldwide outbreak, a pandemic, was recorded in 1580 when the virus started spreading in Asia. It spread to Africa and Europe within a few months, and it had completely infected all of Europe within 6 months. It even made its way to America in 1580. There were not that many people here, but it made its way here. The pandemic, that year caused many deaths. It had a high infection rate, and 8,000 deaths were reported in Rome in 1580. That was quite high because the population was quite much lower than it is now. However, the most famous and deadly outbreak was the Spanish flu pandemic in 1918. It was a very deadly strain of influenza. Basically, the virus killed, modern estimates are about 50 million to 100 million people worldwide. It even reached the Arctic Circle. That particular strain actually was quite effective at hurting people who are normally somewhat resistant, which is adults. There are multiple strains of the influenza virus, and the virus mutates and changes very rapidly. Every year, the cocktail that is the vaccine protects usually against three particular strains. The World Health Organization determines the formulation for the vaccine every year to contain the most likely strains of virus to attack next year. Studies conducted by the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, determined that the vaccine is 57 to 77% effective in preventing infection against influenza viruses collected in the field. Versus influenza viruses in the lab, it's actually 85% effective. But of course, the virus mutates so quickly that it does reduce some effectiveness between the time it's produced, production started, to the time it actually gets out to the people in the clinics. This shows that the flu shot helps to stop the spread of the disease, and that's an important factor. There are some people who should not get the flu shot, however. This includes anyone who's allergic to eggs. That's because eggs are used in the production of the flu shot. And in fact, anybody who's ever had a reaction to the flu shot in the past also, because I guess there's a little bit of gray area between allergies. Anyone who also has had a history of Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a rare disease that affects the nerves, should also avoid getting the flu shot. If you're sick and running a fever, you should also postpone getting the flu shot. Although the CDC claims that it is safe to get vaccinated even if you are mildly ill but not running a fever. They say that's safe. When you get a flu shot, you may experience a few side effects. Many people report soreness at the injection site. Sometimes there may be a little bit of redness or swelling. You may get a low-grade fever. You may experience even some body aches. I have personally experienced all of these side effects at one time or another. This year, however, I didn't experience any of them. And my personal tip over many years of getting shots, especially in the military, I received many different kinds of vaccinations, is to simply relax your arm when you get the shot. Just let it go limp like a noodle, because the tenseness in the muscle is usually what causes the soreness after you get the shot. Over the years, I've heard a couple of persistent myths about flu shots. I will get the flu from the flu shot is one thing I've heard. That's not true. The injected form of the vaccine is made from viruses that have been killed during the manufacturing process. The vaccine manufacturers test batches of the vaccine regularly to make sure that they are safe. The other one is, I'm young and healthy. I don't need this shot. Well, the vaccine is proven effective. The CDC states that it causes 200,000 hospitalizations every year due to its effects or complications. So isn't it worth it to avoid being part of that number just by getting a flu shot? You should also get the vaccine for the simple fact that getting vaccinated helps prevent the spread of influenza. The CDC also reports that there are 36,000 deaths per year that can be attributed to the flu. Getting vaccinated helps prevent others who are more vulnerable, like children or the elderly or people whose immune systems are compromised, from getting the disease. And right there, I mean, that's worth it. Yes, you may not worry if you spend a week with the flu, but isn't it worth it to help prevent the spread of the disease to those people who are most susceptible? A couple more reasons why you and your family should get the flu shot. I've already covered all the main ones, but here's a couple more. Many insurance carriers cover flu shots, so it's actually free for a lot of people. If you don't like needles, there's a painless nasal spray version of the vaccine available, and it's recommended for people up to 50 years old. Epidemiologists who study disease also have noted that there's a correlation in a spike in staph infections in children who have had the flu. So preventing this spread also helps prevent the spread of staph, which is important. In fact, that's been in the news lately. Well, I hope I've provided you with enough convincing reasons why you and your family should get the flu shot this season. If you need more information, or just interested in maybe getting more mug shots of various strains of influenza, you should take a look at these sites. cdc.gov, just type flu shot in the search bar, and that'll get you straight to the most relevant page. Or wikipedia.org/influenza. And both of those sites have a lot of information and pointers to more information where you can find out even more. So I thank you, and I will now return it back to our Toastmaster, Tom Blow.
Okay, great. Wonderful, thank you very much. Well, that was very interesting. I still haven't gotten my flu shot.
Of Thanksgiving and the celebrations.
History of Thanksgiving, wonderful. Thank you for what I'm hearing. Let's hear about Thanksgiving.